Section 3.3, solving systems of inequalities. Now, we've talked about inequalities before. There are signs like less than, greater than, less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to. We're going to be solving these systems of inequalities by graphing, just like in section 3.1. So let's say we had two inequalities where we have y is greater than negative 2x plus 4 and y is less than or equal to x minus 2. So those are two equations of lines, more specifically inequalities, where we either have to draw dotted lines or solid lines. Now for these two we draw dotted lines, and for these two we draw solid lines, just like when we had in section 1.5 where these were open circles and these ones were closed circles. And then we have to decide whether or not we shade above, which is the greater thans, or we shade below, which is the less thans. And the intersecting area is our actual final answer. So the first thing I'm going to do is graph this equation here. So I'm going to go to 1, 2, 3, 4 on my y, and then I'm going to go down 2 and to the right 1, down 2 and to the right 1. So this is my line, and I'm going to dot it because it's just a greater than. In this case here, I'm going to draw a solid line because it's less than or equal to, but I'm going to find my y-intercept, and that's at negative 2. I'm going to draw a dot, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. They happen to intersect right at that point there. I'm going to draw a solid line. So now I have to decide where I'm going to shade. Now on this side, I'm going to shade greater than. So I'm going to shade what is above my dotted line, which happens to be this area right here. In this case, I'm going to shade what is below. So I'm going to shade what is below my solid line, which is right here. Now the area that intersects is this area here, and that is my final answer. So it kind of helps if you color code. You can use a more solid shade where they intersect. Now sometimes we're going to be graphing where we have parallel lines and you have you shade what's above and what's below, and they don't actually intersect, just like we had those three different options for systems of equations. So that is how we graph systems of inequalities. Now let's just review here. We have a less than or equal to. We shade below the line. If we have greater than or equal to, we shade above. If we have less than, greater than, we do a dotted line. If we have less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, we do a solid line. And we follow those 4 rules throughout. That is section 3.3.